We're looking at the ESE Mini Futures 2000 tick chart using price action rules and market geometry to determine where to enter for high probability setups. So the first thing you want to do when you come into the markets in the morning is look for your key entry points, your support and your resistance lines, and anywhere that there's confluence. So as you can see, you want to draw your little short-term channels. This one has break, push to new extreme. This one has break, push to new extreme. So we'll just consider this a new high for both of these channels. Now we know both bull channels played out. Then we'll draw a short-term downtrend because there's no more bull pressure at this area right here. We have break, push to new low of that short-term downtrend. And you'll just want to do that for every bar on this chart. Every bar has a channel. There's a reason that price action does what it does, and you have to know that before you even consider entering a trade. Now, when I originally drew this trading range right here, I noticed that there's a lot of empty room down here at the bottom. So the first thing I did was draw a wider uptrend to account for that. And I drew it about, I think, around this area right here. And I was expecting to have a stronger push phase because we're in an uptrend, right? Nice bounce off of the key entry point, the 21 bar exponential moving average right here. Nice kind of second entry long, visual second entry long. It triggered above and it would have worked, right? But you're going long right into this resistance level right here. But we ended up just barely pushing up and then breaking back down. And now we're just in like this sideways consolidation. So you have to ask yourself why, right? If you don't have an understanding of the bias, I call it a no trade zone. So as of right now, I'm just sitting on my hands. I'm not looking for a trade. I'm just waiting for price action to develop so I can have an understanding of where the market wants to go before I enter a trade. It's not a high probability trade unless it's with the directional bias of the market. So just sit on your hands, be patient. You don't want to argue with the market first thing in the morning on Monday. So we're just going to be patient, see what the market wants to do. So far, the market is super slow and super choppy. The ATR is 2.3, and there's no clear direction, no bias, no nothing. We're just chopping sideways right here. Super small trading range. There's not even a potential for a high probability setup. So you can't come into the market expecting to take a trade. If you do that, your mind will play tricks on you and you'll end up taking trades that you shouldn't be taking. But if you come into the market expecting not to take a trade, then the high probability trades will call out to you, right? You'll see that trade and you'll know there's nothing else I should be doing but entering that trade right now. So none of that so far. I mean, we're super slow. So I'm just going to sit on my hands. Hopefully we'll get some kind of confirmed channel, something more volume would be nice. But with it being Monday, I'm not looking to risk my capital first thing of the week. There's going to be better trading days this week. So I'm just waiting. We might end up getting some volume later on. I don't know if there's any news. I'll check that and get back to you guys. But so far, nothing. No trade zone. Just waiting. All right, guys, I'm watching this, and we have this little small trading range right here with a failed breakout at the top. We know that most breakouts of trading ranges fail, and we have this spike right here, break, push to new extreme, and then we have a short-term downtrend working lower. I'm considering maybe some kind of failed second entry long. I don't like how this bull bar just closed above EMA though. So I'm thinking maybe a lower high confirming a failed second entry long, pull back into this range here. Let's see what happens. Back above EMA, I'm going back to waiting. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and take my break. We have this uptrend working higher, break and push to new extreme. As you can see, it's very, very sideways, very slow, low ATR. So not much happening today, but I'm going to take my break. All right, guys, just came back from the break. Nothing really much happened. We had this little short-term downtrend working lower. You can see it oversold and caused overshoot. Now, overshoot can cause reversals of markets. So you kind of want to skip the first like second entry short or whatever it may be to test the new extreme for that trend. You really want to find something like a lower high or a higher low or whatever it may be confirming a second entry short, just so you have a little bit more confidence in the trade and you have a little bit more confidence that it's going to work out, right? So after this overshoot, we pushed back up and we broke out of the other side of this channel. And if there was a second entry short here, you'd want to skip it and then you'd want to wait for a lower high. But you can see how it respected the EMA here. That shows that there's still confluence that we're going to test new low, and that ended up happening. Overall, though, today, very, very slow, choppy. I mean, it's already noon, and this is all we got. So nothing really happening. It's very, very underwhelming. So after new lows created, we expect potential new market direction. All bear pressure played out so far. This is kind of a big failed breakout of this range, and we're just now pulling back in. Definitely not expecting to take a trade today. It's been very, very choppy. So we'll see what happens. I'm expecting a new potential uptrend to start here. There might even be like a wider downtrend, but this isn't confirmed. This is like another no trade zone. All day has been a no trade zone, really. If there would have been something nice to test new high of this uptrend right here, like a second entry long, there's this bar, but it's bearish. If that was green, that's a higher low confirming a second entry long to test new high. That would have been a high probability setup there if it was a bull bar, but it's bearish. So you can't go long above a bear bar, and you can't go short below a bull bar. So new lows created. We'll see what happens. Hoping for a second entry short right here. If we form a second entry short, I can consider. But if it doesn't form here, I think I'm going to call it for the day. So let's see what happens. Going to call it here, guys. Definitely a test of patience today. Not a lot at all happened. It was basically just no trade zone most of the day. The only area I was really looking for a trade was around here, looking for a new high for this uptrend, and a few areas here where I'm looking to get along with the downtrend and catch a short, but just nothing formed. Nothing formed here that was really worth anything. Super confusing at the beginning of the day here. We had these two trading ranges with a lot of empty space at the bottom on the first one, and then the second one just didn't have anything. Like you can see flat EMA, bars just pushing through EMA, no clear direction. It's not a good day. You have to be patient on days like this, because if you're not, I mean, just imagine how many people lost money today. You know, it's just chop sideways. A lot of the times in times like this, you can find confluence to go both directions. Like there's times it'll set up short and then immediately after it'll set up long, and you're like, I mean, you can make a case for both of them, you know, but there's nothing there. It's just your mind playing tricks on you because you've been sitting in front of the chart for so long. But I didn't take a trade today. Just sat on my hands. Definitely a test of patience. But it's Monday. It's important to protect capital. That's what we do as traders. Protect your capital, man. That's all you got to do. But the rest of the week will hopefully be better. Tomorrow's another day. We'll see what happens. I appreciate you guys for coming to the video. Good luck with your trading.